billion naira for the Rivers State government to the National Assembly for consideration and passage. The letter of the President was read on the floor of the Senate by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, during plenary. The President said the budget proposal became necessary because of the nullification of the state's 2025 budget by the Supreme Court. The President reminded lawmakers that Rivers State has been under emergency rules since March 2025, a situation which suspends the functions of the State House of Assembly. President Tinubu further expressed hope for a swift and favorable consideration of the Senate.
Forwarding of Rivers State Government 2025 Appropriation Bill for consideration by the National Assembly. Further to the nullification of the 2025 budget of Rivers State by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, please find forwarded herewith the 2025 Appropriation Bill for Rivers State for consideration of the Senate. The distinguished Senate may wish to recall that Rivers State is currently under emergency rule, which was proclaimed and duly gazetted in March 2025. Regulation 4, subsection 2F of the Emergency Rule 2025 requires authorization for expenditure from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of Rivers State for its activities. In the absence of the State Assembly, it's expected that the National Assembly acts on that behalf. Hence, the request for the approval of the Senate for the Rivers State Government 2025 Appropriation Bill. The Appropriation Bill for the year 2025 is in the total sum of 1,481 billion, wherein the sum of 324 billion is for infrastructure, both ongoing and new projects, while the sum of 166 billion is for the health sector, including 5 billion for free drugs for treatment of malaria and other common ailments. The sum of 75.6 billion is proposed for the educational sector, and the sum of 31.4 billion is proposed for agricultural purposes. The spending plan prioritizes investment in critical sectors of the states, such as infrastructure, health, including drugs for malaria and other common ailments, education, and also agriculture, which is projected to generate approximately 6,000 jobs.
And to the court now, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Tosho, has transferred all cases on emergency rule declared by President Bola Tinubu in Rivers State from the Port Harcourt Division of the court to the Abuja Division. The Chief Judge explains that the cases were transferred to the Abuja Division in line with Order 49, Rule 2 of the Federal High Court Rules 2019. The Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi San, was said to have written to the Federal High Court requesting the transfer of the cases, citing the court rules. It was, however, observed that before the transfer, hearing had already commenced in some of the cases at the Port Harcourt Federal High Court, especially on the case marked Dr. Farah Dagogo v. President and 4 others. President Tinubu had on March 18 declared a state of emergency in Rivers and suspended the state's governor, Simlai Fubara, his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, and members of the State House of Assembly. Away from Rivers, the federal government has instituted a suit against the lawmaker representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduah, over alleged defamatory remarks made on live television. The suit, filed before a Federal Capital Territory High Court on May 16, has the embattled lawmaker as the sole defendant. The government accused the senator of making imputation, knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation will harm the reputation of a person. The list of witnesses shows that the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and former Governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, will testify during the trial. The second prosecution witness in the ongoing trial of Nnamdi Kanu has told the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja that the Eastern Security Network established by Kanu is an illegal group, unlike Amotekun, which is backed by law. Testifying under the codename BBB, the witness made the claim while being re-examined by the prosecution counsel Adegboyega Owolomo San, who asked him to compare the activities of Amotekun and ESN. The witness stated that Amotekun was established through laws passed by the Houses of Assembly of the 6 Southwest states, whereas the ESN has no legal backing for its existence. He further testified that the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, had at some point advocated for community policing initiatives to combat insecurity on the condition that such efforts receive guidance and approval from recognized security agencies. Before joining proceedings for the day, so May 28, the presiding Judge Justice James Omotosho directed the prosecution to conclude its case within 6 days and allocated 9 days for the defense to present its argument. And turning to politics, the Progressives Governors Forum has passed a vote of confidence on President Bola Tinubu and adopted him as the party's presidential candidate for the 2027 elections. The vote moved by the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, was passed at the All Progressive Congress, a national summit in Abuja this afternoon. Governor Uzodinma, who is the chairman of the forum, before the vote said the decision of the president to remove fuel subsidy, though painful, was necessary. He noted that the president's renewed hope agenda aims at addressing the country's economic challenges and improving the welfare of her citizens. Meanwhile, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, have endorsed President Tinubu for a second term.
This motion, ably moved by my humble self, a very senior ranking senator, supported by a very senior ranking senator. I will crave the indulgence of the presiding officers in our midst to put the question. Those in favor of this motion say aye. Aye. Again, say nay. The ayes have it. May God bless you. The renewed hope agenda aims to address Nigeria's economic and social challenges, promoting sustainable development and improving the welfare of citizens. As articulated in Mr. President's 80-page policy blueprint, the agenda offers a strong systematic response to long-standing challenges facing the country. It presents clear priorities, actionable strategies, and measurable targets. It is not merely aspirational, it is a working document that continues to guide the government's economic and governance approach. From day one, the administration made the decisions that redefined fiscal reality and challenged the entrenched inefficiencies. The removal of the petroleum subsidy, though very difficult, was necessary. It is instructive that this decision was announced on day one of this presidency. Of equal economic value is the unification of foreign exchange rate. This is a courageous economic decision with laudable and impactful benefits to the economy of our great nation. The physical space created through these bold economic initiatives has translated into increased revenue and more allocations of money to both federal, state, and local governments in the country. It has also provided a platform for coordinated investment in critical infrastructure and human.
And now to security matters. Top military officials, including several major generals, today converged in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, for the first 2025 biannual conference organized by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oloyede. The crucial meeting held at the MSA Aliyu Hall, Command Guest House, Malari Cantonment, comes at a time when certain areas of the northeast, particularly Borno State, experiencing a resurgence of Boko Haram ISWAP attacks. Declaring the conference open, the Army Chief emphasized that the pivotal gathering will deliver strategic foresight, operational alignment, and an insight to where military and community engagements converge. General Oluyede urged the Nigerian Armed Forces not to let current setbacks dampen their spirit, but instead to foster commitment, sacrifices, and practical strategies to end insurgency. He further added that the Nigerian Army is dedicated to aligning on the kinetic and non-kinetic operations with the dynamic nature of the operating environment. Suspected bandits have killed 4 people, including 2 soldiers, at Ijahai Kobe in Upper Local Government Area of Benue State. According to a native who identified himself simply as Adakwale, the suspected armed headers invaded the community on Wednesday and laid an ambush to the community. It disclosed that some soldiers who responded to a distress call ran into the ambush laid by the Fulani headsmen and killed 2 of them. Confirming the reports, Chairman of Upper Local Government Area, Adam Ogola, who spoke to journalists today, said the incident happened around 3:30 a.m. on Wednesday. While stating that the situation is relatively calm, the chairman said that more soldiers and policemen have been drafted to the community. The authorities are yet to comment on the latest development. Down south, the Oyo State Police Command has said it cannot complete a comprehensive report on the killing of a 14-year-old white candidate, Kehinde Alade, without the testimony of his father, Odun Ayo Alade. Kehinde was fatally shot last Tuesday by a stray bullet allegedly fired by a police corporal at the Gbagi Alakia area in Egbeda local government area of Ibadan. The officer involved is currently in custody at the State Criminal Investigation Department, Yagoku. At a joint press conference held with the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Prince Dotun Oyelade, and the chairman of the Oyo State Road Traffic Management Agency, OITMA, Major Adekoya Adesagba, retired. The Commissioner of Police, Johnson Adenola, revealed that an interim report of the incident has been prepared. However, he stressed that a full detailed report will only be finalized after the father of the deceased provides his account of the events. During the briefing, a minute of silence was observed in honor of the slain teenager, whose death has sparked widespread outrage and demand for justice. Away from security, Oyo State's Governor Seyi Makinde has approved the appointment of chairmen and members of governing councils, boards of tertiary institutions in the state. This was contained in a statement signed by the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Otumba Ogunwuyi, on Thursday. Olusegun Oyewumi will serve as the chairman of Oyo State College of Education. Badmus Tunde Bamishe Alabi, Saliu Chimo, and Babaride Sunday Ademola will all serve as members. Dr. Amusa Damilare Gideon was named as chairman of Oyo State College of Agriculture. Alhaji Salami Adebayo, Useni Olosun, and Dr. Adekunle Onile, amongst others, will serve as members, while Professor Lanre Nasser was appointed chairman Polytechnic Ibadan. Prince Adeleke Ajala, Professor Duola Olutayo, Professor Mudashiru Owolabi, amongst others, will serve as members. While congratulating the new appointees, Governor Makinde urged them to see the appointment as a call to service. Moving on, the federal government has assured Nigerians that Section 3 of the East-West Road, which stretches 15 kilometers from Eleme Junction to One Junction in Rivers State, will be completed and open to the public by December 2025. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, gave the assurance in Abuja this afternoon. He also announced that the long-awaited LMS section will be ready for public use in the next 10 days. The minister emphasized the economic importance of the road corridor to the nation, particularly its role in facilitating movement in key oil and gas infrastructure located in the One area.
Mr. President inherited a number of projects along East-West Road, but Section 1, that is between Port Harcourt and Bayelsa, which is 84 kilometers by 2, done by Setraco, is being completed. Work is ongoing in Section 2 of that project. Mr. President also took very high interest on East-West Road, and I always say that this is the most traffic route in the whole nation. We have the refinery there, we have the petrochemical there, we have the Broma, we have the One port, and that is kilometer of 15 by 3 lanes. And this project was inherited, and the total cost was 156 billion for 15 kilometers by 2. But we felt that the pavement design was very weak, and so we had to redesign the project on reinforced concrete pavement. Today, the first carriageway is completed and is ready for commissioning. Work is ongoing on the second carriageway, and I thank Mr. President very highly, and of course NSA, for their commitment in ensuring that this project, are being done.
You're watching news at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come. Small plane crashes into U.S. San Diego neighborhood. We'll bring you more on this when we return. So stay with us.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker and philosopher, Awo was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration paraded several enviable records. First television station in Africa, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, first modern civil service secretariat in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 Naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country.